Chaos erupts in Kharkiv as pro-Russian communists attempt to seize power over the new Ukrainian Republic. While it may seem like I'm describing current events, this is as well the situation Ukraine found itself in December of 1917. While it isn't widely known, Ukrainians have been fighting for their independence for centuries. Since the 12th century, Ukraine had been ruled by the Mongols, the Poles, Russians, Austrians, Turks, Germans, and Russians once again. However, it was in this small window of time between German and Russian occupation that Ukraine was once free. And it is from this story we can better understand the current situation in Ukraine. In March of 1917, during the First World War, the Ukrainian people declared independence as a democratic nation, as many other nations did in the midst of Russian Revolution and German invasion. While the new Russian provisional government tried hopelessly to defend against Germany, the Centralna Rada, also known as the Central Council in English, took prominence over the newly independent region, allied with Russia. Of course, Ukraine was soon left defenseless as Kerensky's Russia as well broke into revolution, this time the Bolsheviks taking power. The Bolshevik Revolution caused great chaos to erupt in Ukraine, as the Central Council had to fight for independence on its own without Kerensky. On its own, the Republic's first step was to take full control back in Kiev from the Russians, which was actually aided by the Bolsheviks. Unfortunately, this truce was quickly over, as Lenin established a rival Soviet republic stationed in Kharkiv a month later, and infighting began. This event of betrayal is mimicked today by the Russian Federation, which established revolutionary governments in eastern Ukraine as an excuse to invade, proving that history does in fact repeat itself. By January 1918, the Rada declared official independence from Russia, all the while Bolshevik soldiers marched west, quickly gaining speed. On February 9th, Kiev had to be evacuated, and all seemed lost for the Central Council. A shocking turn of events. On the very same day, Germany and its allies signed the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, which ended hostilities between Germany and the Bolshevik government, and as well gave the lands of Ukraine to Germany for protection. Aided by Germany, Ukraine was able to reclaim all its land from the Bolsheviks. Things seemed great for Ukraine, with little resistance to the Rada. However, on April 29th, the Germans couped the government of Ukraine and instilled a monarchy, which reversed many of the democratic reforms made. While unfortunate, the newly stable Ukraine became a safe haven for Russian refugees fleeing the Russian Civil War. It was all going relatively well considering the events of the previous year. However, Germany was about to lose the war, meaning Ukraine once again was on its own. When Germany lost the war in late 1918, the Rada was reinstated for the once again Ukrainian Republic. This time, Ukraine had some friends, here, in the former lands of Austria-Hungary, belonging to many ethnic Ukrainians, but also many Poles. The resulting conflict between newly independent Poland and Ukraine killed thousands on both sides, especially for Ukraine, which had almost capitulated entirely to the incoming Soviet army. In the end, Lviv and the entire region was ceded to Poland. By 1921, neither Russian, French, nor Polish intervention could save Ukraine, which had been conquered and turned into a Bolshevik puppet state. Anarchist rebels, who were former allies of the Soviets, are betrayed and overrun. But what's so bad about these Bolshevik guys anyways, you may have been asking. Come 1932, a famine hit the Soviet Union. While Ukraine produced at the time 27% of the Soviet Union's grain, it made up 40% of exports. Unproportionately, 3.9 million Ukrainians starved to death due to Soviet collectivization policy, rejection of foreign aid, continued export of food, and restriction of emigration. Joseph Stalin, who inherited control of the Soviet Union, was eager to eliminate minority populations, such as the previously revolutionary Ukraine, in an attempt to promote Russianization. The now recognized genocide was successful in erasing 13% of the Ukrainian population. If Ukraine wishes to survive the 21st century, it must understand the mistakes of the 20th. Analyze the Ukrainian independence wars prove that Ukraine must find good allies who they can trust. Not fools, power-seeking communists, not foreign autocrats, but governments of the same democratic ideology. And while Kerensky of the Russian Provisional Government had his heart in the right direction, he was foolish to continue the war against Germany. Ukraine must hold the Dnieper, but if all else falls, perhaps the best course of action would be to cede Lviv to Poland once again. But for now, Ukraine must continue fighting for independence against foreign tyranny.